I'm just a little bit early, so y'all can just talk amongst yourselves. We're going to see if Mad Max shows up. He may have had some prior commitments, so I don't know. Maybe he'll pop in here. I'm getting ready for Valentine's. So, those of y'all who don't know, my cousin and I have a store called Two Jeans Treasures. So I'll plug it right now since they are actually sponsoring this because I'm filming this in our studio, our gallery. So we've got a lot of Valentine's stuff here. So I'm plugging that today. So, yeah. Somehow this mechanical doll over here has gotten turned on. And if I was scary, I'd be thinking, oh, what's happened? Somebody, there's a ghost in here. But I kindly doubt it. Oh, okay, Miss Kelly. I got to see if I can make Miss Kelly an admin. Okay, you're a moderator now, Kelly. So if anybody shows out, you can let me know. So I've tried to get this to where I would look decent because you see, the thing is, I know I'm going to act stupid. So if I've got everything else looking okay, at least you don't say she looked tacky too. Yeah, I love to laugh. I laugh all day long, all day long. If I can laugh at myself, I can go by a mirror and I see that old lady looking at me and I'm thinking, oh my God, who is that? See this beautiful green glassware? This is antique 1950s glassware. And we've got a whole table of it over there. Another plug over here for Two Jeans Treasures. But of course, the rosé wine doesn't come with the goblet. That's good. I'm going to try not to vape in front of the folks, so if you see me leaning over, you know. I just really can't read it. And I don't even have my earbuds in yet. Oh, Lord, have mercy. If Matt would come on, I wouldn't be able to hear a thing. Because I sure can't see what's going on in the chat. You've got a bottle of green glass. Stuff's really popular in the 40s and 50s. But this was made in the 50s. Yes, I love pretty things. Yes, I couldn't do much in the world, but I could decorate it. I could make it pretty. And I did. I know my second husband, he loved my decorating so much that whenever we divorced, he begged me to come and decorate his new place. Because he said it'd be gorgeous. I said, I'll let your next wife do that. So how's everybody doing? I can't read it, so Miss Kelly will have to talk about it. Well, I was planning to talk about serious things, but since it's the first episode, let's just keep it light. I had a viewer that's been mentioning several times about they loved my red lipstick. So let's just get down and funky with how people are going to really ride me on this of being like transvestites think that, oh, they got to talk about just makeup. But this was for a guy that he thought it was hot, okay? So I thought I'd let y'all know what it is. Maybe y'all want to use some of it. It's by MAC, and it's called Ruby Woo, W-O-O, Ruby Woo. And what I like about it is it's matte. And I can put this on, and the majority of it be on there all day long after I've eaten and everything because it stains your lips. And if you're in a situation where you want lipstick to stay on, then I suggest you try it. Now, I don't wear this normally out in public. It's a little too bright. But I do wear shades of red in public because I have the bone structure and the skin tone that red looks good. So you see, I'm talking about bullshit tonight because I don't want to talk by myself with any hot topics. So we do have hot topics planned. And I had somebody else that's been asking me about what I do to my skin to make my skin all pretty. And I keep telling them they have not seen me in the bright sunlight. You know, these lights here tend to bleed out wrinkles. But to help me, I use this stuff called Cocoa Melt. And it's by 1-2 Cosmetics. Now, this is a cleanser, but it's so rich in nutrients. I use that twice a day. I don't put any soap on my face, and I use this twice a day, and I don't put anything else on my skin except for cosmetics to, you know, paint my mug. But far as skincare, no. And matter of fact, I haven't taken hormones in years. I do need to get back on that, but it's just not something that I actually needed. So, all right. I need to pace myself here. I need to go in slow motion. A little bit more of my pink Kool-Aid. It tends to calm me down. So I don't get so... I love MAC products too. I normally can't afford them. But when it's certain things that I know I'm going to get my use out of, I will invest. And you're going to laugh at what I'm fixing to show you. Age Rewind by Maybelline. And y'all know the very, very first makeup that I ever bought was by Maybelline. I mean, it was long before all these other lines come out. You did have CoverGirl some places, but the place where I shopped had Maybelline. And they had this cake eyeliner. I bought it until they stopped manufacturing it. Yeah, you wet it yourself, but I could use that brush and do that thing. I couldn't use a regular wand. I had to use the brush that came with that. And I never could use what come out of a tube. It made a sloppy mess, but I could do this just perfect. Now it's hard to find the old-fashioned cake eyeliners. But I have it. Some of those wig stores found it. Yeah. What's this? Clinique's good products. You know, I worked for years in Belk department store here. Well, not here in Mississippi, but in North Carolina where they originated. And I worked in the cosmetic department. So back in those days, I could afford the best cosmetics. And I did wear Clinique and Lancôme, which is a French line. Yeah. So I've gotten to the age now where I don't worry about all those extras. If my face doesn't just slide off of my skull, which it has a tendency to do with old age and weight loss and turkey woggle and all that, I get paranoid. It's hard enough for somebody that was, and I hate to say this, somewhat attractive in my youth to see what I see in the mirror. I've got to learn to deal with this myself just like everybody else does. Old age is not kind. And knock on wood, I've not had any cosmetic surgery on my face. I've had no facelifts. I sure need facelifts, an under eye thing. And I like to have that thing where you do, where they do all that up. I don't know, I may need a chin implant by then because I've just lost everything off my face. Keto will make you lose weight real quick. I'm telling you. I've never seen anything like it. But the first place I lost was my neck and my face. And then now my arms. Look at these little skinny arms. Because I stay on it. I don't want to ever be fat again. It saved my life. But I had to contend with looking like an old lady. But I'm fine to be a healthy old lady. If I've got to keep going in this world, I got to be able to look after myself, take care of myself. And the way I was before I started on keto, I could not take care of myself. I walked with a cane. Now I can get out and run like I'm 35. I love it. But be prepared if you go on keto that you're going to show your age. That's a given, honey. And another thing, whenever you get false teeth, it will ruin the shape of your mouth. I got by with it for 20 years before I lost this weight, and now it looks funny with the false teeth. But it is what it is. I sure wish Matt was up in here. I don't know. It's just 9:04. I opened this thing early. I just kind of wanted to see what the lights was, and then everybody pops in. I don't have anything else to talk about. We'll have to close. I use this Bang energy drink. I like it because it's 0 carbs, 0 sugar. Tastes delicious. And this is the root beer flavor. Give you some energy and tastes delicious. So if you own any kind of diet, try Bang. I'm just plugging all these places and I'm not getting any money off of it. I don't know. Had one to calm me down and one to put me up. I may pass out right in front of the camera. Oh. One thing I hated is my hands were always big. And my feet were big, but I could kind of camouflage that with shoes and pants that I wore and stuff like that. But your hands are just out there. What do you do? And I tell you, my daddy had the biggest hands of any man I had ever seen. So I had this fear all my life that I'm going to grow up and have those hands. Thank God I did not. But My hands are wide. They're big because I have a wide face. I have wide shoulders. I have wide hips. Everything's square with me. Just like here, you see this squareness? That's in my body, in my hands, in my feet. I'm just a square person. Oh, well, if I had my earbuds in, maybe I could get somebody to come on and talk to me, but I couldn't hear them. And I'm not going to get up in front of the camera. I got this camera just right. Yes, I'm vain. I'll admit. Mm-hmm. And I was always self-righteous. I always thought that I never met a trans woman that was as much woman as I thought I was. I did. In just a few minutes, I could tell she's not my kind of woman. If I spotted any drag queen or homosexual gestures or anything like that, I chalked her down. She was not my kind of woman, and I didn't need to be around her. So because of that, I got called some bad things. Even back then, 50 years ago, I've always been horrible when it comes to that thing, you know. It's just a woman. I had great friends and had a great time, but when it come to trans people, I was always bad. Yeah, I was, and I feel bad about that. And I have tried through the years to change the way I thought. I really have. I've always given everything the benefit of the doubt, but it always comes back hitting me in the face that these people are crazy. They're nothing like me and my transsexual sisters and brothers. You know, I have met a lot of great trans men doing my tranny granny things that I do, videos. There's a bunch of great trans men out there that are so supportive, much more really than the transsexual women, because they're caught up in this transgender thing. They're caught up with thinking that's the progressive way to be. If you're transgender, I guess it is. But if you're transsexual and you can't stand the thought of doing the things that these people are doing, could you have gender dysphoria and do the things they do? They don't. It's all a game to them. So yes, I'll fight against it. They like to make fun, the TERFs do, how we fight amongst ourselves and we can't even get along, and that's how these trans people are. That's like saying one mental illness is the same as the next mental illness when the symptoms are totally different. Now, really, the symptoms are different. So you cannot say we're all the same unless you're going to say everybody else that has similar illnesses are all the same. And the diagnosis should always be the same with everybody that has a similar illness. Yes. Y'all know how I feel about those folks. Because there's too many good people out there. Straight, lesbian, gay, and bisexual, and also some out of the transgender because they would be really transsexuals, but they're thinking they're transgender. That's what we're here for, so that we can see that we're all good people. And we don't need to be judged like that. I mean, we all know we're biologically males, even though it sits in our crawls to think it or say it. But because they know how we feel, they love to taunt us and throw that in our faces. I'd be safe to presume that those kind of people that would do that to hurt you, to put it good, the bitches, I won't even say what they would be. If you're thinking about the bad side of them. I don't want to get closed down here. But it's just the truth. You know, if they would all just read the history of everything, they know there's a difference, but they think they've just got to throw everybody under the bus. You can't leave anything live. You got to get it all down. All of it. All of it. But they really sort of understand us. They don't want to admit it. And what they really hate is the fact that they can't do anything about us. They would love to do something about us. But they can't. Because the majority of us, they don't even know exist. They don't know us. They can't tell if they see us out somewhere. They don't know. And our records are so clear-cut done, you can't prove it unless you get DNA. Mm-hmm. So they can't stand us. But I can grant you if they saw me in public, I mean, not saying they're looking for a trans person, but if they just saw me somewhere in their lives, passing me by or speaking to me on the street, they would not know. They want to claim they would, but they would not know. Because I know how it is with me and many other trans people. They can go through life undetected. And then we have to see this stuff on the news about these transgender people acting so stupid. And then it tries to drag us all down. That's what makes me so angry. It's the reason transsexuals should say no. No, we don't want to be classed with those people. The older ones of us in here, we know that when they very, very first added the T to the LGB, it stood for transsexual. And it was a good many years before they changed it, the T to transgender. And then you see what it opened up. They couldn't do that as long as it was just classified transsexual, because we were a total different classification. So they got it with transgender, and they could just do anything. It's like, okay, Sybil, you know, Sybil that had all these personalities. It's like instead of trying to help Sybil pull all her personalities back together, they want to see how many more they can make with all these different identities and this mess. You don't never know what they're going to come up with next to add to the LGB into the T. So I am advocating that we dance with a few of these LGB people and get that T turned back to transsexual, because they're fixing to kick these other folks out. because it's just too much. It's too much for these folks. Now, they have just put up with a lot, but they don't need to be associated with this madness that's going on. And we ought to not have to do it either. No. So I know, I mean, I'm just winging this because I thought I was going to, you know, have my cohort. And he was going to just keep it going. I'm not good for keeping anything going without a script. My brain is limited. Well, let's see who's saying something. Okay, is he coming soon? Have you talked to him? Well, if they just made it mandatory that, hey, that T becomes transsexual again and just completely kick the transgender people to the curb. Now, I think they can step back that way. We did not ask to be changed from transsexual to transgender. We didn't ask none of that. No, but they made everybody think that's what it was. Even the transgender girls today that actually are transsexuals in their heads, they've been brainwashed to say this is the way it is. This is the way they were told it was supposed to be. And so they're thinking that's the way it is supposed to be. I think a lot of those folks are going to have a rude awakening sometime in the future. I don't know. I mean, maybe you and I will be long gone by then. But there's something going to happen. Yeah. I mean, nobody wants this Sodom and Gomorrah looking stuff going around everywhere. You know, have your own community. Have your own towns and villages where y'all can just act this way. But you can't have a pride parade 24 hours a day everywhere with like these people acting like they want to do, just showing out. You know, you can't have that. No, not in the real world. People might want to look at it and laugh for a little bit, but they don't want to have to live with it. I know I don't. Mm-mm. You was away for the TV. And my glasses have, it had a film on the glasses that over the last 2 years has eaten away with glass cleaner. So now it's kind of, it looks like it's got some kind of something on there. Well, I went to the eye doctor to see if they could clean them. They said no. Said, you've already cleaned them too much. There's a reason this is done this. So they made me an appointment next week or so to go pick out me some new glasses. So I saw some pretty bright red ones that looked sort of like Sally Jesse Raphael. But I just don't think I want to be on quite that much all the time. So I don't think I'll go with those. Probably something similar to this if they've got them. Hey, brother boy's come in here. I think he's just eat something. It's my roommate. If you have not seen my brother boy, he's mixed Dachshund and Chihuahua. He looked like a Chihuahua with no legs at all. But he's my love. Mm-hmm. Y'all, now I just really have to vape. You know I have to have nicotine whenever I'm nervous. I don't have a gift of gab without Matty Matt. He's the wind beneath my wings. For y'all who have not heard this story, back in the olden days when I was doing my Granny Made videos, well, Matt got the idea that I was going to have to take her on stage as a stand-up routine. So what did I have to do? But I had the help of Jolene Sugarbaker. If anybody knows who Jolene Sugarbaker is, the Trailer Park Queen. But Jolene does a drag character called Jolene Sugarbaker. And she does cooking shows. And she's fabulous. She won all kind of awards. And I actually do not know anything about her male persona, but I know whenever I was wanting to get into stand-up comedy, she had done stand-up comedy herself in her youth. So she sent me a book, How to Do Stand-Up Comedy. And I studied that like a Bible. I learned how to take my scared self on stage without passing out. Oh, y'all. And it says I have low battery. And y'all, when it cuts out, you know that's all she wrote. Because I'd have to go in yonder and look for something. I could do that if Matt would come in and keep the room open. But otherwise, when it pops off, that's it for the night. Next time I'll have to make sure to have my charger right here and plugged up. See, you learn something every single time. But I do like my setup. I'm comfortable here. I've got this table here. And what this is a walnut prayer bench. The outside, the ends of it is very ornate Victorian prayer bench. It's just with the prayers in the Bible and stuff. I thought it was good luck to have my prayer bench. I have my notes here. I didn't have enough notes, though. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody that did stop in here tonight. And Kelly, especially Kelly. Kelly's probably going to be our first guest on here. Probably next week if we can work it out. Because her schedule's different from ours up here because she's in the UK. Are you still in Leeds, Kelly? I know that's where you're from. Yes. But you'll also have to have an admin thing to knock people out of here. Oh. Yep, you're still in Leeds. Now, I'm not really saying much about this, but when my niece was here during Christmas time, she said that she was taking her father to Europe because she wanted to take him to the places where our ancestors came from. And we've got ancestors that came from Germany and from the UK. Derbyshire and then Cheshire over on the coast, Irish coast or something over there. So they've asked me, did I want to go? So I said, think about it. So, Miss Kelly, if I actually go, we will have to somehow hook up. I mean, not that it would be close, but closer than we are now. You're thinking last. Well, I do have 5 other girls lined up besides you. So, we can get somebody else, but you have to come in here as an admin. I know, it's been a long time. You know, I always hope to get there and meet Najma. I really thought a lot of her. I'm going to go back and look at this after it goes back into replays. I can see just what I've done wrong. I could have actually done something else to my hair. This is what I did this morning when I did put new lipstick on. I did do that. But we just had a hectic day here. I just will tell you. We had a few customers, but we were exchanging refrigerators. Because what we've had in here all along is a GE 1955 refrigerator. We were able to find it online, so we knew exactly how it did. It works. But in 1955, they did not have automatic, defrost. Every 3 months, you've got to defrost it, or it's completely a solid thing of ice. So we finally decided after all this time of every little bit having to defrost it, that we was ready to go back into modern day. So we bought another refrigerator, and so we had to take the other one out. But since we put it there, we had a row of shelves put in the hallway. So it just would barely inch through there. Because these old ones were big, big old fat ones. So we barely got that thing out of here. We got the new one in there, but we can't plug it up till tomorrow because, when you move refrigerators, you cannot plug them up if they've been laid down. Get that Freon time to do its thing. Otherwise, they'll not run. Those of you who don't know that, I think, everybody probably does. But that's what we've been doing today. Yeah. Just same old stuff. Yeah. A friend of mine, we call him Stephen, but his name's not Stephen. He's from Malaysia. He has a grocery store right down the road here. And he comes over here a good bit and talks to us. And he was excited to tell me he's fixing to go to China because his ancestors came from China and moved to Malaysia back whenever it was a colony from the UK. You know how the UK, they colonized everything. But him and his brothers, they've never been to China. So there's some kind of family thing going on there. And people that never met each other, they're all going to get together in China. So he was telling us all about that. Yeah. That ought to be great. So maybe it'll be that way whenever I go to these places in Germany and the UK. I don't think so. I know I was in Germany in 2000, I think, 2, and then 2004 I was in Germany again. I didn't like Germany too awfully much. I'm not crazy about the polka dance and all those red tile roofs everywhere. And when they hear you with an American accent, they're not too crazy about you. I guess it's something left over from World War II. Don't know. But they don't like Americans. I had to learn to speak German like quickly. Otherwise, I couldn't buy nothing. I didn't know nothing. I had my little translation book. Yeah. Is anybody saying anything? I don't know. You would have to know about your roots. What your roots on your hair? Honey, that's the reason I stopped coloring my hair. My hair started turning gray in my 20s, but I kept it colored all of my young years. But it seemed like the more gray I got, the more it got growing faster, faster, and all you could see was the white roots, and I think that looks nasty. So I stopped coloring it. Once in a while I put a blonde color on it that you don't see when it's washing out. You don't notice. I do that once in a while. I've been planning on it a couple of months now. I thought I was going to do it before this live thing, but I just hadn't had a chance. I'm real slow. No. Well, that was enough to stress you out, honey. That's something you need to talk about whenever you go live, because that was your soulmate. Yeah, he was. But so you're lucky. You did find your soulmate, even though he didn't stay with you forever. I haven't found the first soulmate. And I'm not holding my breath anymore. But I think I was just, the thing is, I wanted my mate to be my friend. And men are usually not geared towards that. Some men are, but not, I've never met one. Men, they want their wives to have certain duties. But being a friend is usually not one of them. So, I never had it. But you and yours were friends. I mean, y'all were just like the complete package, you know? I can't, my eyes are bad. I mean, really. And I can't, and my glasses is messed up. You know, I told y'all that I messed up my glasses, cleaning them too much, and that film, it looks all scratchy, but it's not scratchy, it's just that film that's come off of them that was on the protective coating on my glasses. What did she say? What did Donna say? Hey, Sherry. We don't have a topic right now. I had a few things that I was going to talk about, but I was just going to toss them to somebody else. And they were going to keep it going. Here I am. That's why I want to have guests that they can talk. I can just say, hey. Okay, our store is in Brooksville, Mississippi. It's in an old church, a Presbyterian church that was built in 1880, I believe it was. Yeah. We didn't plan to put a store in a church, but we couldn't find anything else in our town. So we took what we could and we filled her up to the brim. We have antiques and collectibles and thrift items, all high-end thrift items. Oh, this is a neat old church too. And all the pews were still in here. And they were nailed to the floor with nails that were about, I'd say, 6 inches long. They looked like something that could have put Jesus on the cross. And then we had to get them all up and store them. So it was a mess just getting ready to get in here and get, you know, to doing what you do. I'm sorry. Now, for y'all who want to think bad about me for vaping, now, I had quit smoking for 20 years. I did, even though I lived with a smoker and everybody I knew smoked. I did not smoke until I started going through this divorce. And I had to have something. It was either that or heavy drugs. That was hard. Can you imagine 62 years old and you had no inkling that this was going to happen? You figured you were settled in for the rest of your life. I was not prepared. Yeah, I was not prepared. First, there was a nervous breakdown. I couldn't understand what was going on. I can get into that in another discussion. It gets kind of deep and dirty. But we need to keep this alive tonight. So you might want to come back. Yeah. You know, I've always just been this crazy because I took myself. The first time I went out of the country, I went to Thailand. And I stayed 2 months with the hottest man I have ever seen. Yes. I was single. I had been single for 15 years. Oh, yeah. That was the best experience of my life. Yeah. And then the next experience was going to with my last husband. It was not the best experience of my life. Not even from the beginning. He was a frog. Not just on how he looked, but the way he was. I told you to not get back there. That dog was back here messing with my background. And we'd already had a word of prayer before I went on. I told him not to come back here, but he got to be right next to me. He said, get off there and let's get into bed. I love that boy. He keeps my bed warm. Yeah. But anybody that loves their pets, you will understand. Because that's somebody that will love you 100% for no other reason because you're you. As long as you love them, you take care of them, they will love you to the day they die. That's the worst part of owning a pet, because they don't last very long. And he's already going on 10. He's in his 10th year right now. So I'm hoping we're going to keep him healthy. Now, Chihuahuas sometimes live as long as 20 years, but since he's got that Dotson, I don't know. I'm just hoping. I'm hoping we kind of go out together. Yes, pets are the best. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They don't judge you for nothing. You'll be back for more lives. What does that mean? Oh, live content. Oh, cool. Maybe the next time, since we're going to go start having guests, we get some action going. See, I know enough about all of these people because I've known them all for years to make my notes, what to talk about, Kelly and I have been talking about it. I'm going to have her on several times because she had a lot to tell. A lot. She's old school like me. And when we get started, it's going to be a mess. So far, I don't think we've had any trolls in here, have we? Is he joining me when? Is he supposed to be up in here? I haven't seen him anywhere. What am I supposed to do? Has anybody talked to him? I'm sure that was awful. I'm sure it was worse than what they have today. Because they could get by with anything back then. Oh, and I'm just so glad they didn't throw anything like that on me. But they did require that I go to a psychiatrist. And I tried to talk to that psychiatrist because I knew enough, I'd read enough about transsexualism at 13, and I thought a psychiatrist would know about it. No, all he could say was, you can never be a woman. You got to put that out of your head. You can never be a woman. And I thought, Mom's word, I won't say nothing else to this man. If he can't help me, I'm not going to say nothing to him. And finally, after 2 visits of me not saying a word, they said, don't bring him back. Because they're not talking to me. I expected that's going to be put in juvenile delinquent school, but I didn't. So I'm lucky they didn't have that kind of stuff. But they did have it back then. But I'm glad they didn't suggest it. Okay, I've got my second warning for my battery. Am I still on? Am I still on? I still see the live thing up there. I don't know. Oh, it's still on. Okay. So it's my second thing, so it'll go out any time now. We'll be prepared next time. I keep promising that I'll be prepared, but I can't really promise anything. No. Matty Matt's not here. He's the wind beneath my wings, and I said that. And he is. I wouldn't even have this thrift store if it hadn't been for him. He opened one and kept telling me that I needed to. So what did I do? I did. He's just always been there for me. Always supportive when things are bad. And I love him dearly. And I hope I didn't do something wrong. Was I supposed to, the last time we went ahead and, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But he could come into the chat and I could have made him, at this thing. I don't know. I'm too new at this. I went ahead and opened a few minutes early so I could check out, the camera and lights and all that. He wasn't around at the time. We'll be ready next time. But I feel all funny just up here by myself at a live chat. Anything anybody want to know? Anybody want to know anything? That animated doll still over here moving. I don't have anything to even grab it with. It's like those boot camps where they take gay people and transgender people and try to get it away from them, that they cure it or something, but they never really cure it. They can screw people up mentally, and then they wind up going out killing folks. It has happened too. But like I said, I'm sure it was a lot worse back in Kelly's day than it is today, because they got more regulations to keep you from them from doing some of the things that they used to do. They do all kinds of treatments. They can even do shock treatments on those people. You don't know how all the stuff they can do on those people. It's awful. Well, you could grab that doll and hand it to me. There's that doll. That bitch been over there moving, making noise all this time. And I don't know who cut her on. She was in a pile of porcelain dolls from Christmas we got to pack up. She says she's not amused. Well, she stopped moving her hand, hadn't she? Okay. All right. Now, the possession has ended. Oh, I'm going to have to get up here in a little bit because I'm getting a cramp in my leg. You know, I have neuropathy, the old person thing. So my legs and feet feel numb most of the time. But that happened when I was extremely obese. I thought when I lost weight it would stop. No, no. My legs are numb all the way to my knees. I had chicken wings for my supper. What'd y'all eat? Hot wings. They make the best ones over here at this convenience store. Place where they make pizzas. So they brought me chicken wings back. And I can't hardly have pizza on keto. I can have the toppings on pizza, but not the crust. I make my own keto crust for pizza. Yeah, I lost over 200 pounds. Sure did. And I eat keto pizza sometimes once a day. There's a little pepperoni. Yes, Donna. Well, they call it DES son. I don't like that, but that's what it's classified. Because my mother took dinosabestrol to keep from miscarrying. She had already had 2 miscarriages. And yeah, it messed me up. Because my brain and my body was thinking I was supposed to be a girl. And it's awful because people don't realize how confused it made my brain. And I did try, honestly. Tried to make myself think I could have a relationship with a female. That I could try to be normal. And when I would give it my best shot, I gave it my best shot. It's not like I just thought, well, I'm going to tell them I'm going to try. I actually tried. Because I knew this was going to be a shit life. This was not going to be easy life. So I didn't want to cave into it. So I tried my best, but when I realized there was no way whatsoever that I could be happy that way. But that's just the best role. Did that. It kept me from going through a full male puberty. Because I never did grow any facial hair or anything like that. I never did build muscles where a guy would have muscles. I had a small waistline and hips and thighs and a butt that was shaped like, you know. And I started developing breasts, but they never got big enough to fit my big frame. I mean, it looked like small boobs, but they didn't look right on my frame, so I had to get implants and wear pads before that because they just didn't fill me completely out. But I couldn't be a boy either. I was messed up. And these church thinks I don't have the right to even know. Oh, we feel sorry for you being that way, but you still don't have a right to be a woman or say you're a woman or go into women's spaces. Bite me. The first time somebody stops me at a door and says, "What are you doing coming in here?" You know what I do? I turn around and leave. But they never have done that, and they never will do that. But if I made someone uncomfortable enough where they was to ask me, I would leave. I don't want to cause no trouble with anybody, but I have been going in women's restrooms since I was 18 years old. And I've never caused the first problem whatsoever. So, but that DES is what messed me up because it just kept me looking so female without makeup. I mean, you can see pictures of me when I was 16. I mean, I had a boy's haircut. I looked like a chubby lesbian. Because my face just looked like that. You know, I can't say that I mean, what I had was just what I had. I guess you would say God gave it to me. But did God tell them to give my mother these hormones? You can't blame everything on God. God just puts you here and says, have at it. And what happens, happens. Now, you might be able to pray some things into existence because I think you can get cosmic energy, the same as prayers. You can put positive energy out in the world. Prayers are the same thing, putting out positive energy. But you can also put a bunch of negative stuff out there too. It makes me feel bad sometimes whenever I talk about the transgender people because I know everybody has a right to be happy. But they don't have a right to go out and cause trouble. Scare people in these fitting rooms and stuff. Taking away their trophies in the Olympics and sports. They don't have a right for all of that. How come it never came out? How come we, the transsexuals, never tried to do that? Except for Renee Richards. But she claimed to be a transsexual, but she had been married, had a child, and she liked women. She was the same as these transgender people. And she did try to go into sports, but she could not beat these people. Even though she went into sports, she couldn't beat them. They whooped her butt. So, but I don't think that the trans should be in the Olympics or any kind of sports. There's no reason. We never tried to do it. We didn't want that. We didn't want to be in the military either. That's for the boys that know they're boys. It's way long before they ever let women in the military, actually in combat. Of course, women have been in the military for years and years, but as far as in combat. So, but see, my body, the reason I don't take hormones on a regular basis because there's some organ, and I don't know which one it is, produces female hormones. Because of the disostebestrol, it made my body develop female hormones. If you could have seen me in the flesh when I was young, you would understand what I'm saying. Can you imagine this person 50 years ago? And my parents, once they seen how good everything was coming on and how well I was accepted, they were proud of everything I ever did after that. You know, they were proud. Now, y'all are not going to see the conversation that's going on here, because they won't put that whenever they put this up. But Kelly is talking about her situation. And there's a good conversation going on there. So I'm hoping y'all go back and talk about it when in the real comment. It's Kelly and Donna are talking. Well, mm, mm. Now when I do order my new glasses, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 weeks to get them. Yeah, I won't be seeing any better anytime soon. Look at them bags under my eyes. I say, yeah, that's it. I could use some plastic surgery. But it's too late for me to get started on that kind of stuff. Don't think it would be too good. It wouldn't be as good as it needs to be. If you get started, you want it to look good. I don't know if I was to find a rich husband. Now, if there was a rich kind of Sam Elliott looking guy out there, I would make him a pretty sidekick. Of course, he has to have everything tightened up. Yeah, some people get addicted to it. And I guess I can understand that, but because you start focusing on all these little things, you know, what do I need to do this time? I don't even get started. Well, we'll be getting cataract surgery sometime this year. And then I'll be able to see a lot better. You know, you're really getting old when they say, you got cataracts. When they first told me, I thought, oh no, that's really old. That's really old to know you got cataracts. If you've not experienced it yet, be prepared. Yeah, Kelly, I mean, it starts giving you that alien sort of look. That's the way I put it. When you get so far along, they all look like aliens. They sort of all look sort of alike. they had the same mama or daddy. No. No. I never really thought about wanting much cosmetic surgery. I did want to have my nose operated on. Because, see, what happened with my nose, the reason I got this little messed up looking nose is I broke my nose twice learning to walk. I was a klutz back then, too. So they fixed it the best they could. They didn't have a plastic surgeon, so they did the best they could, and I've always dreamed of having a nose with an actual bridge, because when I fell and broke it, it just smashed it all flat. So that's the reason my nose looks like it does. So I've always been jealous of people who had an actual nose. Oh, yeah. That's one thing I just adore on people, when they got an aqualung nose. Yeah. If I'd had the money, I'd have went in there and had some of them implant things put in and give me a real nose. I would. It's too late now, but I would have in my youth. Yeah, they